Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Welcome to August Product Update Webinar. If you're here and you can hear us, please go ahead in the chat and say hi so we know that you've joined and the chat is working and everything is good. We'll wait a couple of seconds more and then we'll get started. While we're waiting, if you want, you can let us know which sport did you enjoy most in the summer's Olympics. Let's start with a light topic while we wait for everybody else. I'm gonna put mine in the chat actually. All right, looks like the chat is working. All right, everybody is shy today, that's all right. All right, let's get started. Hi, so, hi.
Bonjour, Rosalie.
Welcome to today's client webinar, What's New in a Client? And today is our August Product Update webinar. If we go to the next slide. My name is Rosalie. I'm part of the client customer success team, and I'll be your host today. And we also have my colleague and partner in crime, Dominic, that's on the video as well, is our official brand ambassador. He does a lot of things with clients, and he will be showing you all the new features today. And
Greetings, everyone.
Hi. And we have Melody, that's not on video today, but she's our customer support advisor, and she'll be answering your questions in the Q&A. Now you're probably all wondering how you can help us make this webinar awesome. And the answer is simple. You just need to be super participative. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. So make sure to participate to our polls when we launch them. We're curious to know what you think. Other customers are curious to know what you think. And our product team is curious to know what you think. So please do that. Also, when Dominic and myself are going to be talking about anything, be sure to use the react button at the bottom. Wow, thank you, Dominic, for that. You can use it now if you want to test it out. It's just going to let us know that there's people following the webinar and everything is going well. Also to know which features you're excited about, etc. Thank you. And then if you have any question, you can use the Q&A and Melody is going to help you out there. And speaking of polls earlier, let's just get started and ask our first poll for today. So is this your first client webinar? Yes? No, I'm a regular. No, I've been to a couple of them. So we're just curious to hear from you. Going to give you a couple more seconds. All right. Perfect. So great. It looks like we have a lot of new people on today's webinar. So if this is your first webinar, welcome. Otherwise, welcome back. Now let's head over to our agenda for today. All right, so what's on the agenda? Today we're going to be covering all the features that were released since our last webinar in June. So that would be version 49.7 that was released mid-July. We're also going to be giving you a teaser on what our product team is working on. And finally, we'll share some useful client resources depending on how much we have time. And you don't have to take any notes. We'll follow up with an email after today. Passing over the baton to you, Dominic.
Great, thanks, Rosalie. So yeah, new features that we want to present. We did one back in July. Now the latest version, 49.7. So we have a few things on the workspace, mainly the out-of-the-box presets and the sharing capability that we'll review. Notify by email. So as you get assigned to a new project or a task assignment, you can send a notification to the user. New project, there's a new UI, and then a great new addition, which is the Client Marketplace. Team has been working hard on this. Another way of sharing information and creating a community. So we'll see that and makes things interesting on the project templates. And also a new out-of-the-box dashboard for client consultant execution. So more on the consultant wearing the consultant hat, the new dashboard. And then I'm not going to show much of it, but anyone out there using Sage Intacct, a new feature for order entry lines grouping. So as Roly said, this deck will be sent also in the communication on the community. So if you want to have quick link to the release notes, you'll be able to use that there. And just worth mentioning, not going to go through those, but obviously there's always a few fixes that we're doing, continuously improving on the tool. So again, just quick links here that you'll be able to use within the deck, but everything is listed on the release notes on the client community. Good. So just going into an environment, just want to go through those new features that we have. So I'm landing here on the workspace within a project. So the new thing here is related to the presets that we have. Just before we go there, because we can have that list of presets and eventually we have a list of new out of the box. But I figured I'd probably just explain what the preset is and what it encompasses. So just going back on the few basics here so that everyone understands what you can leverage from the presets. So this view here basically is very flexible. First thing that we can change is what we call the display. So am I seeing only the grid with the timeline, or so here there's a button to state the views that you can kind of pop up. You want to see Gantt. This is what I'm seeing now, which is the grid and the timeline. The assignment, which is going to be the grid and a list of resources that are on your project that you can use to assign hours. And then again, the grid itself, which is very useful when you're starting to build. Maybe you're also using the workspace to do, control lists, or maybe sometimes we even use it for recurring meeting agendas or tracking data. So a lot of things that you can do with the grid itself. So that's the display. That's the first thing that is going to be remembered by the preset. Then there's the scale of whatever you're showing here on the right side. So do you see it by week, by month? That's another thing that is remembered. There's the options here that we have also that will be keeping track in the preset. So do you have a critical path enable? Are you showing the baseline? So those things also, if you toggle them on and off, the preset will remember. The other aspects, which is also very, one of the main thing I would say is what columns are showing. So right-clicking on the top bar, you have access to selecting any fields from the task that are made available to you by the system admins, because you can manage that list, show more or less of the fields that you're using, but you can select what fields are showing and the order of those columns. So if you drag and drop, you can change the order. That will also be retained by the presets and how it's showing. So as you see here, I have a preset that was pre-selected. This is a custom one for me, but there's this red star on it because I did change something, just indicating to me that if I want to keep that, I might want to save this one. So that was already there. What is new is those 4 presets that are out of the box now. So for anyone of you out there starting with Klient, you'll have some starting points for those out of the box, the main ones that we see often. So that this is one of the new things in 49.7. But the other great aspect here that we have new is the share button. So now we can build, as a business, if you want to build some of the standard way of looking into your projects for the different stages of the life cycle of your project, you can go ahead and create that and hitting share. As you can do, and similar to what you can do with the list views in Salesforce, you can share to only you, everyone, or a subset of resources. So doing that, you will be able to have those presets available to everyone, and they will show in the list with a small icon on the side, knowing that it's a shared setting. So that's the new thing here based on preset. Use them as much as you can in the sense that you can structure your operation doing so, making sure that every steps of the way, you know what information you should be looking at. So it's a way also of guiding your team on how you should be driving your projects. Rosalie, anything I forgot on that one?
No, we just have a quick poll. If that's yeah, let's go ahead. So speaking of presets, we're just curious to know if you're using presets. Yes, no, I don't want to. No, but I would like to. And then just out of curiosity, which workspace display do you use most? Is it the Gantt, the grid, the assignment? You can check
all of them.
Or I think for the second one, or all of them, yeah. So I'm gonna end the poll and share the results after. And if you are using the presets, then for sure after today, you're gonna be sharing some of those. And if you're not, then you can do all these things. All right, I'm gonna share the results for that one. I see. So it looks like a lot of people are using, or half-half. And then Gantt grid assignment, we've got a pretty balanced.
Yeah, obviously, Gantt is kind of the, I'd say, it's a
Main
bit
one.
more of the visual one that you use along the way. You know, assignment is often when you're setting up your project or assigning. So these results make sense.
Thanks.
Great. So next one is the notification by email. So staying here, you'll see that we have clicking in either in the assignee column or even the pencil. You want to go to the schedule tab right here in your side panel. We have a new icon. You know, we rearranged some of the icon, and there's a new one, the paper plane icon here, so that if you click on that button, it is sending an email notification just to advise a team member that they've been assigned to a task. We'll see just in the next screen that we can also do that at the project creation overall. But here, if you're, let's say you're, you know, assigning on the go or grooming a backlog, or, you know, depending on the type of project, that makes a lot of sense sometimes to just say, okay, there's a new task that was assigned to you. And you can send that email. I'll show you. Then that email received for now is comprised of information, standard information that we're providing. So the project, the task name, so that the user can click directly on those hyperlink to come back to the task that they were assigned to. Also useful here, I was just doing a recording this morning on the community and how you can leverage that community to communicate with your customer. If you are assigning homework to your customer and then you're leveraging the community, why not use that so that it brings them back on the community to provide, you know, documentation. Maybe they need to review a design, stuff like that. So it can be used in different areas. That's it. The other aspect of notify by email, it's going to be connected to my next step, which is when you are creating a new project. So let me just go on the creation of a new project. So the other notification that you can do, let's say I'm creating a new project and I'm assigning the implementation team. So I can leverage the team to assign multiple people at the same time. But you see that we now have that new checkbox to notify as we're going to save the project. Everyone's going to get notified of that new project has been created and they are part of that team. So that's the other aspect of the notify when we are creating the whole project. Good. Next is the new project UI. So you might have noticed a small difference. We used to have a selection of either project template or task template. We now have an import button. So this is kind of the new the main feature here, where you can select, you know, the way you're going to select, and the capability is quite different. So this is showing, as you see up top, the project templates, your task templates, existing projects, and that new feature that we have here, which is the Client Marketplace. So the thing here is that you will see you're able to select multiple templates all together, and they are added on the right side as you go. The first one being the one that will be considered as project template, meaning that the envelope of that first one will be considered, you know, rate card, project types, anything that is defined at the project level will be taken from the first one that you've selected. For some reason, if you're moving around your things, some of them you might not be able to move them up top, or you can reorder here based on what you want. The first one again would be the one that be using the information for the project creation. The neat thing here is the Client Marketplace. So this one here is providing a series of templates of projects that you might want to leverage, either just as a starting point, but we already selected or provided 7 or 6 new project templates. So if you want to look into that, and kind of maybe you can use them, tweak them, and then save your own project template based on that. But these are templates that we are providing through the tool. And as we're going with partners, we're getting partners that might have some knowledge in different businesses. They will be also able eventually to add those templates within there to provide you with a good starting point to improve on your business structure.
Yeah,
and if
and
you
if I, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, if I can add something, if you have any suggestion as well, it doesn't have to be just partners, but if you have suggestions on templates that you would like to build or you would like us to build, please do share those.
Yeah, good point. Yes. The idea here is, again, as we've been trying to do for the last few years, is to kind of create a community of client users so that there can be some interaction. So that's just going further on that interaction or sharing knowledge across businesses.
Yeah.
And then if you recall last maybe you don't recall, but at least last version of the what's new, I did mention 2 new fields that were the categories and the template description. So this is coming handy here so that you can provide further information. So sorry, I may have been going fast. So clicking on the I button here, you can provide to your team a description of what is that template, what should it be used for, where you have a rich text that can be added to your project templates to provide a bit more context. So that's just more information on those templates. That's here in the marketplace, but that's also available on any of the project templates that you have. Okay. Sorry, I think I have some, yeah, I've been a bit more in my demo environment. I didn't put a lot of descriptions, but you can put a lot of further information on that. So as you apply the project, this will add it to your project creation, and the rest is standard as what you used to do with the rest of the information that can be modified. And just to wrap on this, as I mentioned, the information on the project template, I'll just go on my project structure here just to show that to define a project template, you have fields on the projects that are project template or task template. And then you have those 2 fields here, template category and template details. If they're not there on your page layout when you update, maybe just asking your Salesforce admin or system admin to add them on the page layout. But this is how you'd be documenting the category and the details that are in the description for the import project.
All right.
That's it.
I guess we're just curious, and this is for our product team. I know they're really eager. I mentioned we have a couple of those templates, and we want to know if there's any of those templates in the list, and we've put a couple. Obviously, there's a lot of topics we can address. Is there any of those templates that you'd like us to build next? There's a couple of examples: so Agile Sprint Project, Content Calendar, Customer Onboarding. If you just have a quick read through it, none of them interest you, great. If you have some suggestions as well, you can type them in. And that's just for our team to know what to prioritize. And again, if you have any ideas, you can always reach out to us. All right. I want to overtake
just before I flip to the next topic, I did have a question by anonymous attendee, which was asking if we in the import dialog is also applying to existing project, so that when we're doing insert task template. So for now, when we have an existing project, insert task template is, and I'm gonna click on it right now so that I can show what it looks like. So for this one now, it still is the same type of UI that we used to have. So the new UI is for the new creation, but you can still add task template to your existing project using insert task template button on the client project.
All right.
Okay. Next is the consultant execution dashboard. So that's a new standard dashboard that was added to the solution, really aiming for the users and then their daily work that they should be doing within the system. So really aimed at them, looking at the different projects that they're scheduled, number of hours that they should be working on each based on the planning, what they've been doing last month and this month as far as their utilization, so they can keep track of time they've entered, different components here that can be used to show them what task also they should be working and number of hours remaining for each of those tasks that should be completed in the next 4 weeks. So different components here that you can use, mix and match, but really it's a good starting point for a consultant. Keeping track of your timesheets. Have you entered your time and what's billable, what's non-billable? If you have any items that you need to make sure that you're looking into, like rejected timesheets, keeping that number as much as possible to 0, meaning that you might have some things that the accounting team might be waiting for. And then the list of your assignments, your task assignments, so that you can, again, keep a track on everything you should be doing. As any reports within a dashboard for Salesforce, you can click on the report itself, the link here, if you need to see more. So that's a good, again, kind of a brain dump of everything you should be tracking, so that if you need more details, you can dig into it and then reach the projects or the tasks that you should be looking into. Just a good thought, an idea here that I want to convey is the usage of the home page. So dashboards like the consultant dashboard. So I just reached the home page here that you can build for any types of users. So if you're a manager, if you're a delivery manager or a consultant, here it's my demo environment. So I have several examples just so that I can have them handy. But for a consultant, that new dashboard is it's a good tool to drop on that homepage so that you can combine those data that you need to keep track on, along with maybe your quick time so that you can quickly enter time against your projects or any other flags or trackers that you might want to have. Even some text, maybe you're providing information to your team or quick go-tos for HR things that they need to reach out, like hyperlinks or stuff. But you can have that on your homepage so that every morning when the users log in, that should be the first place they go to make sure that they have everything. So just an idea of how you can leverage the consultant execution dashboard to drop it on your homepage directly. That's it, Rosalie.
All right. Like we mentioned earlier, like all those fixes, they're all available in the slide, so we won't go through them one by one. But finishing off with all the new features, I guess we'll just do a quick poll to know which new feature you're most excited about. So we've grouped them. There's not too many, but it's always good to know after today's webinar. I know your next step is to go in, upgrade, and start playing with those. So which of these functionalities are you most excited about? And you can choose more than one if you want. So this is really for us. We're curious to know. All right. And after that, I think we can go to the, I'll give you a couple more seconds. All right. It looks like let me end the poll. It looks like the consultant executive dashboard is probably the most popular now, which is nice. Yeah. Learning project. Yeah, and Engine Talk, if you're not using it, then makes sense. All right, thank you so much. All right, so let's move on. What's coming up on the roadmap for clients? So we have a new release that is coming up probably by the end of August. There's a couple of really cool things that will be included in there, and obviously we'll be talking about it on our next webinar. So we've got checklist reordering, which is something a lot of customers have asked about. So you'll be able to drag and drop. Placeholder resource custom image. So if you are using templates and placeholders, they all look the same. You'll probably be able to change the image. Workspace shortcut navigation. Great, I see some hearts there. Workspace shortcut navigation enhancement. In the last couple of releases, you've seen we've done some little tweaks on the Workspace, always with the goal to make it more easy for everybody to be using it. So there's more of that coming up. Also Kanban menu bar redesign, again, making your life easier, more on the UI side. My timesheet comments mode. If you are using my timesheets and adding comments, this is going to be a game changer for you, making your life simpler. Missing timesheet notification is one we've heard a lot of comments from customers about. So notifying people when they haven't submitted their timesheets. And then we've got some works as well for mileage, expense, currency, logic, and display. So if you're using expenses and specifically mileage, that's gonna help you out. And then we also have our next slide, which is more long-term, Q3 in general, what our team is working on. So task status and priority color mapping, we've mentioned that this was something new, but now we're doing the color mapping portion. Something that has to do with community user visibility as well. We're going to make some improvement there to make it easier for you on that front. Some more workspace shortcut navigation enhancement. And then we mentioned the Kanban redesign. We're doing the workspace and resource planner menu bar redesign as well. Some cool things as well is project analytics header that's going to be on the project page. So again, just making visibility of what's going on with your project a bit clearer and nicer to the eye. And then some more QuickBook work in progress. So that's what's coming up. And let me just put this, I know people reacted as we were going, but let me just launch this quick poll. If you take a second, just let us know which one you're more excited about. And this is just, again, helpful for a product team to know where the enthusiasm comes from. So it helps them plan for the next features as well. All right. And it helps confirms as well internally. We have our polls on which one we think are going to be more popular or interesting, and then we can compare with that. All right.
One of my preferred one is the timesheet comment mode. I think I've been working with several customers then, so I'm very happy about that one.
Yeah, and we've got like a sneak peek earlier this week from the product team, so we actually saw all these in action already, and pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, as maybe everyone knows at this point, but we are our own guinea pig. So the last stage of our tool testing is us. So we call our system cord. So we install it, and then we're the last guinea pig on the lines. So we did start using it this week. So yeah, promising.
I mean, technically, we shouldn't get any missing timesheet notifications because we're always on time, but
that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be sharing that with our product team. All right. And let's move on. We still have a couple of time. So today, what I want to do is spend a little bit of time on where to find resources because we have so many all over the place and maybe not everybody is aware. So let's just go through them one by one. And then obviously we'll share all the links in our follow-up email. So after today, you're probably all telling yourself, wow, this is amazing. I want to upgrade right now. I'm assuming most of you on the webinar, you know how it's done, but little reminder, if you head over to our community, head over to the icon and then account information, you can find the link to the most recent version. So right now we're on 49.7. So that would be the one you want to upgrade to. When you're doing the upgrade, if you need any help, you can reach out to us. We can help you out. Then when you're doing the upgrade or anytime really after today's webinar, you can head over to our community again and the release notes tab. You can find all the release notes for most like recent ones. And then you can easily Control F and look for timesheet specifically if that's what you're looking for. In this slide for today in the deck, we've included a direct link to every single features we talked about. So that's a little shortcut, but a very good place to live. There's a lot of other things, by the way, you can find on the community. You see all those other tabs. If you don't have access and you want access, just send a message to support@klient.com and ask for a community user login, and we'll create one for you. No worries. All right. And then we have some great resources. We mentioned it on last time webinar, how I solved it with Klient is a new video series. We have 20 plus videos right now. If you head over to a website in the resource section at the top, resource tab, and you can click on how I solve it and you'll see them all. There's a search bar. You can search for anything specific. There's a lot of good content. We're releasing a new video every week. Our latest one, actually, Melody created it. It's called Share Project Development in Real Time with Client Customer Community. So yeah, have a look after today. And you can find all those on our YouTube channel as well. Then another type of resource that we have would be the client tips. Right now we're doing client tips for business leaders. Those are written by Yannick, our CEO. So every week he writes a new topic. We had stopped for a little while, but now we're back at it. To give you an example, like our latest one was project managers sleep better when exposing their project status. So if you're wanting, these are really quick reads. If you're wanting to get some information on that, you can head over again, resources and then client tips. And then from that resources section, we also have client feature spotlights that are new. And that would be the next slide. Yep. So we've done 2 so far, and we'll try to keep them up. Essentially, the Spotlight how it works is every week or month, we're highlighting a specific client feature. We're talking about the benefits and how you can get started to set it up. So go check that out. And then if you're like, oh my God, Rosalie, this is amazing. There's so much new resources, but how do I keep up with all this? Just follow us on LinkedIn. Every time, wow, game changer. Every time we publish something new, new content, new resources, we'll do a post on LinkedIn. So if you just go over and you can click on the bell icon if you want to get notified when we have new content, but we have lots right now. And then finally, that would be the next slide. We have our monthly newsletters. This is where you can get the catch up on like new version, new features, anything new at Klient essentially. So if you're not receiving it right now, usually it's sent the first week of the month. You can head over to our website, scroll all the way down and little blue button and sign up today. You can also invite your friends and colleagues. And yeah. Then the last thing before we're done, what I'm going to do is just launch a webinar feedback poll. So if you can take a couple of seconds to just fill it in. And then if you like today's webinar, our next webinar is going to be in a month from now, on September 12th. We're actually going to be sending a recap email after today. That's going to include the registration link for that, as well as the links to the resource that we mentioned today, the slide deck, the recording, and much more. And then this webinar, the recording is going to be put on YouTube as well, so you can share with all your colleagues and everybody can be up to date with Klient.
If you've missed anything from all the information that Rosalie shared, you can also look back at that recording and then slow down at 0.75 if you need to get everything, because
all right. Thank you so much. If you have any other question, you can reach out to us. And I'll stop the webinar in a couple of seconds.
Thanks, Rosalie. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. See you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great week.